Good afternoon, everyone. We can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to, first of all, thank the Lieutenant Governor for his very kind words. And I also want to thank you and the Governor for all that you have done. And to address the issues of foreclosure and to address the issues of trying to keep people in their houses and trying to allow people to have some dignity. I don't think that there's any state in the nation that has been as aggressive in trying to save people from foreclosure and making sure that they stay in their houses in our state of Maryland. And a lot of that has to do with you, Lieutenant Governor, Governor Martin O'Malley, and the greatest housing secretary in the United States, Secretary Skinner. I thank all of you so much. First of all, let me thank you for the award. I truly do appreciate it. And every time I get an award, I always say to people, I kind of wish I could cut the award up and give it back to them, because I just do what I do. I do what I do because I have a passion for doing it. And we have some other very passionate public servants in this room. I asked Senator Sarbanes why he was here. I told him I was glad he was here. And then I wanted to know why. And he simply said, I've been very close to this group. And Senator Sarbanes, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for all you have done and continue to do. He is truly a giant, please, and a legend, a legend. I want to thank you all so much here in Montgomery County for sending my colleague, who I am so proud of. Every time I see him on the national television shows, I see him in committee, I'm taking notes. Chris Van Hollen has simply been stellar in his commitment to making sure that this country is run in a fiscally responsible way. And I don't know what we would do without him in the Congress of the United States of America. And I thank all of you, if you had any role, voting, giving him a contribution, just screaming out his name, putting a bumper sticker on. I want to thank you for sending Chris Van Hollen to the Congress of the United States of America. Thank you. And County Executive Ike Leggett has been a friend for many, many years. And I've watched the way he has addressed the issues of this county and made very difficult decisions, but kept this county going in the right direction and very steady. We're in rocky times, but he has made the decisions, made them in a very practical way, and at the same time using our taxpayers' dollars in a very, very effective and efficient way. And Ike, I just thank you for your leadership, and I thank you for your friendship, and it's good to be in your county. Ike Leggett, thank you. And certainly to the folks who are running the show, I want to thank Barbara Goldberg-Goldman and Norman Dreyfus, and certainly Ralph Bennett for this wonderful and very, very, very kind invitation. Dr. Michael Stegman, Counselor to the Secretary of the Treasury for Housing Finance Policy, I want to thank you for being here too. I'm going to be very brief. I've just got 3 quick points. And I'm just doing this off the top of my head. My staff gave me some notes, but I mean, Senator Sarbanes, I've gotten like Governor Schaefer. You remember he used to bring his stuff up and throw it away and just say whatever he had to say, and usually it was good. You know, when I was talking a little bit earlier about one of our elected officials, I said something that I want you to keep in mind. Trying to keep people in their houses and making sure that they have affordable housing, and by the way, that also includes renters. It's about dignity. A lot of people say, why, Elijah, did you spend so much time trying to keep people in their houses? It's because when I was a little boy, my mother, father, it was 7 of us living in a 3-room house in South Baltimore. We had 1 bathroom. Can you imagine that? And I'll never forget, Senator Sarbanes, one day my father, who was a laborer at Davison Chemical with only a 3rd grade education, said, we're going to move. And he said, we're not going to have any meat or fish for the next year or so because I don't want to spend that money on food. I want to spend it on a house. And I'll never forget that he didn't believe in banks. He was a former sharecropper, so he would put his money in a cigar box and put it under the bed. So finally he got enough money for a down payment. And to this day, I can still remember, Barbara, the person who sold the house to us, and I can remember the salesperson. And back then, what would happen is that people would come up from the South, and then they would move to nicer neighborhoods. They would come to these little, small neighborhoods in South Baltimore, and then they would move to nicer neighborhoods. And everybody used the same agents because they would refer them. And so, anyway, make a long story short, my father came home one day and he said, I got somewhere to take you. So we went up to Edmondson Village, and not many of you don't know much about Baltimore, but the ones who do, Edmondson Village was beautiful. And we went up to Edmondson Village, and my father said, this is the house that we're going to get. And then, being a preacher, he had us all kneel down in front of the house. And I don't remember the prayer. I don't remember everything that happened. But one great philosopher says that you may not remember an act. You might not remember what was said, but you will remember how you felt. And I felt so good as we knelt there praying about this house. While I was feeling real good, Chris, it didn't last long because there came a tap while we were praying on my shoulder. And it was this big, burly policeman. This was an all-white neighborhood. And he thought we were protesting. So we prayed over the house, and then we left, we got the house. But this is, and sometimes I don't think that we think about this. Housing affects children. My whole world changed. First of all, we got two bathrooms. Hello, that's a promotion. You understand that, ladies? That was a promotion. In my house, you had to get up 4 o'clock to stand in line. With the old house, we had now 4 bedrooms instead of all of us sleeping. Basically, the girls sleep in one room, boys sleep in another. We had 4 bedrooms. We had something else. We had a club cellar. That's what they call them, a finished basement. I know this stuff sounds lightweight to you all in Montgomery County, but this is serious stuff I'm talking about. We had a place, oh God, we had a place where we could invite our friends and have little parties. And my father had finally a little piece of ground that was about the size of one of these tables. But he farmed that little piece of ground to the nth degree. You would have thought he had 30 acres because every inch he farmed it on his knees. We had a front yard, Lieutenant Governor, where he planted flowers, and although he died 13 years ago, a lot of those flowers are still coming up. And why, and so this is why I'm telling you this. I want to, so often I tell people, sometimes we spend too much time concentrate on who we're fighting against. We need to concentrate on what we're fighting for. What we're fighting for. And so it was a wonderful thing. I got a chance to go to a better middle school. I had a chance to meet new friends. I had a chance to do things, like I said, to have a place to do my homework. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. But you know what's so still great about it? When you give somebody a house, it's a gift that continues to give. Because my mother today, at 87 years old, still lives in that house. Hello. And so what we are doing is trying to allow some people to have some dignity, give them a chance to be all that God meant for them to be, but it's kind of difficult to have that when you don't have a roof over your head. Kind of difficult to have that when you don't know where you're going to go to at the end of the school day. Kind of difficult to have that when you feel a sense of hopelessness. And so that's what we're fighting for. And I have come here to thank all of you for what you do. No matter what you do, just the mere fact that you're at this conference says that you care about somebody other than yourself and other than your family. But I'll leave you with this final note. One of the things that I have realized in life is that your strength is in your passion, whatever that is. And out of my pain comes my passion to do my purpose. And so when I look at this award, I'm going to be reminded of all the people who are continuously standing up and fighting and not concentrating on what they're fighting, who they're fighting against, but what they're fighting for. And so my mother used to pray at the end of the day. She was a domestic. And at the end of the day, I'll never forget it. She'd worked all day as a domestic, and she'd come home late at night, Anthony. And after she had taken care of her children and gone to church and then came home and scrubbed the floors or did whatever she had to do late in the night, about 12 midnight, she'd soak her feet in Epsom salt. And she would hum her favorite song. She would say, "We are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to cry. We have to hold up the bloodstained banner. We have to hold it up until we die. We are the soldiers. This is our watch. And we must hold up that banner for all of those families who simply want to live a decent life." May God bless.